A good friend once told me that life happens for you, not to you. And I never really understood what they meant until I experienced what happened. I would have never predicted that I would be let go from a job that I loved and was at for 9 years. Thinking back to how I felt a year ago, I was in such a low place, and I was thinking that if this didn't happen to me, I probably wouldn't have the courage to start my own business. I'm Kelsey Hellier, and I'm the owner and founder of Closet from Hell. I curate one-of-a-kind vintage pieces and sell them on my online boutique, and what makes me a little bit different than everyone else is I have an eye for unique, trendy pieces that are the highest quality. The name Closet from Hell comes half from my last name being Hellier and half because my boyfriend refers to my massive pile of vintage clothing as a closet from hell. I grew up in a very small town called Lion's Head in Ontario, and it's a population of 500 people. My mom and I were very close, and we still are very close. She's the reason that I'm so into fashion. She could always predict the trends. When I was younger, she'd tell me, oh, like overalls are coming back in style, and I'd think she was crazy, but she was right because she's been around longer than I have, so she knew. My mom would take me to all my dance competitions. We'd fly overseas. We'd, drive to the States or fly to the States. And we would love shopping because in my small town, there was absolutely no shopping. The closest mall would be 3 hours away. So my mom and I just had that special bond because I was the only girl, and we just shared that. I remember she kept all of her old clothes from like the 80s and 70s, 90s, everything. So I would dress up. We had a huge dress up trunk, we still do. And I would try on all her old like bridesmaids dresses. And so I think that's why I'm so into fashion now. When I was about 13, my friend introduced me to this vintage store, and it was amazing because it was all one-of-a-kind vintage pieces. So when I saw that they were hiring, I immediately knew that was the only place I wanted to work. So I applied, and they ended up hiring me right on the spot. So after high school, I got into Laurier. So I moved to Waterloo, and I loved living in a city where you could shop. And honestly, at the time, I couldn't wait to get out of my small town. Looking back, I kind of took it for granted, but I really loved living in Kitchener-Waterloo. And the store that I worked for actually had 2 locations in Guelph and Cambridge. So I would work at both of those part-time while going to school, and then I would work in the summer full-time at the beach store. So it was really convenient. After graduating, I knew that I wanted to work in fashion, and I loved my job at the vintage boutique, so I wanted to take that full-time if possible. So I talked with the owner, and I had been doing the in-store buying for years, the whole time I was in school, so he promoted me to head buyer, and I got to do buying trips all over North America and Asia. The next 5 years flew by. It was a whirlwind. It was so exciting. I was going on buying trips constantly, and it was just my job to pick out clothes that I loved, and it was amazing to see other people loving the stuff I picked out just as much as me. Girls were reaching out, asking me how I got into this job and what I took in school. I was kind of like a role model to them, so it was just so fulfilling. and I just wasn't ready for what happened next. Then COVID hit and I got laid off, and everything that I loved doing was kind of taken from me, and then in like a matter of an hour, everything changed. I guess it was less than an hour. It was more like a minute, but for the past 5 years, I had helped the business grow, and I had so many good ideas to help them get through COVID and take the business online, but it didn't really matter what I said. They just didn't really want to hear my ideas, and I was laid off again and then let go. I felt like a huge failure. I didn't know what to do. I had never been let go from a job before, so I just was kind of lost. I knew I always wanted my own store of some kind, and I thought instead of putting money into new inventory, I have an amazing collection of clothes in my closet that I cannot possibly wear everything. So I thought I might as well put that online and see if I can start a business from that. I was at a low spot and I didn't really have any confidence, so kind of to prove it to myself, I wanted to see if this would work. So I, got a website going and made an Instagram page and just uploaded everything in probably 3 days. And I just started posting, and people were honestly loving the clothes that I was posting, and it kind of took off from there. Then I got my first sale, and it was the best feeling. I was so scared that, I wasn't getting the right pricing or people wouldn't like the stuff as much as I did, but it was so satisfying to just see that notification pop up on my phone saying someone purchased from me, and I didn't even know how I was gonna ship things at that point. Like, I had not even thought that part out, but I just knew that, if I didn't have any sales, there's no point in learning the shipping, so I just took it one step at a time and figured things out as I went. From my first sale, I just kept taking pictures of the clothing, like day and night, measuring, weighing it, and it just felt so good to do something for me and not for someone else. It was amazing just proving to myself that I could do it, and there was no better feeling. A year ago, there seemed to be such a focus on how many likes you got and how many followers you had. It was so normal to buy fast fashion, wear it once, then throw it away. But we're moving past the buy it, throw it away culture. I want to inspire people to invest in quality pieces that will stand the test of time, are as unique as the person who's buying them, and honestly, I can't wait to see how great people look in the clothes I picked.